Going to take care of that for us. There we go. Welcome. All right, so we are joined today by 4 astute industry participants and judges. They are all here as panelists. You've probably heard them bantering here a little bit first, but all out of the gates is Mike Knapik, the CIO of SAMR. Also joining us is Erwin Goldstein, the Enterprise and Solutions Architect, Vice President of Enterprise Solutions Architect at Halo. Sorry, it was a big one, so I had to chop some stuff off. Erwin's also the current ASI Technology Executive of the Year in 2023. So we're going to try to make it a point to have the most current Tech Exec of the Year involved at all of our presentations going forward. We have Teresa, who is the executive editor at the Counselor magazine at ASI. She's been writing quite a few articles this year on technology's influence in the industry and artificial intelligence. So we felt like she was a natural to have at this as a judge. And last but not least, the very late addition, but very much an influencer in the industry, Bill Petrie, is the founder and owner of Brand Debate Marketing. He also runs probably the largest podcast in the promotional products industry, along with Kirby Hessman. So if you haven't checked that out, I would definitely follow Bill on all the socials. He has some good writings and good content there. So thank you to our judges. Amy, did I miss anything?
Nope, I think you got it.
All right, good. All right. So we have 5 teams. We had 6 teams. One disappeared. The team's first challenge was to create a logo, which I'm assuming most of them just popped in some stuff into an AI logo generator, and I would expect nothing less. So our 5 teams are Control Alt Defeat. In the middle, we have Team Cora, who either created a very poor logo or forgot to put their name in there, or that could be my fault copying it. Sorry, Raj. We have Team Promobot. We have Team Swagify AI, and then we have Team Promo Paladins. So we've gone through and assigned all the teams a predefined order. They have presenting people. But first, I want to roll through a few set of rules, kind of how this is going to work today, what we expect. But yeah.
I think it's Promo Paladins.
Yes, I was close. Thanks, Erwin.
That's our judge.
That's why Erwin's a judge. Don't say anything wrong. Oh no, thank you. So what's going to work? So everybody has roughly 10-ish minutes. If you are going over, I'm going to start to call you out on it. Try to respect that. We're leaving a few minutes for the judges. So the judges will be allowed to ask a few questions as follow-up questions on your topic. And if you are a participant just chiming in and going along, you can use the Q&A. And we'll try to get to the Q&A questions time permitting. But the judges' questions will be prioritized here. So as judges, we ask you all have your judging forms. It's a total out of 100 points. Each category is 33. I guess you can award a 34th point if you'd like. So maybe we'll just call it out of 99 points. But the judges are pretty much, they have 3 criteria as problem statement clarity. It's pretty much how well is each team articulating the problem that they're trying to solve. Presentation creativity is important. Bring in the thunder always goes a long way with the judges. And most importantly, but equal weight, so I guess equally of importance, is technical feasibility. That's just meant to make sure nobody talks a big game and has some flashy stuff and it's not feasible. So we're interested to see what has been churned out there. Obviously, kind of excited about this today. So kind of how this is going to work. Live presentations, everything's going to be recorded today. It is being recorded. We'll chop these up. The winning teams, I went over last week, the cash prizes, swag prizes, the opportunities. The 2 winning teams will be featured at the Tech Summit, where we will work through their solutions, have them go do a deep dive into their solutions and any feedback that we present them today. And then we'll kind of, as a work group, as one of the breakouts, try to whiteboard their ideas and see if we can further them along. When will we announce the winners? So the judges are going to live judge today and then get all of their scoring back to us hopefully tonight. We will sanitize those and push those out and announce the winners in October. The judges will be making comments and we'll make those anonymous, but I think it's important for everybody to get feedback as we go through. But
John,
yeah.
one thing, we'll also post the presentations on our YouTube channel.
Yes, so if you search Promo Standards on YouTube, we have quite a bit of content out there. We've been trying, obviously, for 2 years, we've been doing the monthly content, but all of our Tech Summit content, we're just using that as our library and repository for all things good. I'll get to afterwards how we're going to commit this code back to the Promo Standards repository, but Raj and his team have actually already done that as an example of how it's done. So we'll get to that in a second. So let's before we hit the ground running here, Jessica, if you want to go ahead and promote the first presenter, and then we'll just kind of roll with it as we go here. But this is the order. We're gonna go Control Alt Defeat, Cora, Swagify, Erwin's favorite team, number 4, and then PromoBot. So let's I'm gonna stop sharing here. Judges, do you have any questions before we get going?
I do not have any questions, John, other than why am I here? I'm kidding. I'm looking forward to this.
All right. That's great. All right, Perry, you ready to bring the thunder here?
Yep.
All right, this is all you. So you're on the clock here. So good luck. Get
All
after
right,
it.
thank you. Hi guys, let me first start with sharing the screen. Can you do desktop? Share. Okay, so, all right, visible slides. Can everyone see this? It's my
We
presentation.
can. Yep. we
Okay,
see your-
perfect. Okay, so hi guys, hello everyone. We are team, I'll start my timer. Team Control Alt Defeat. And see the next slide, the agenda for today. We keep it simple. The topic we chose for the hackathon, the sort of problem that we again picked on, and the solution, a small demo, and then we'll open up for Q&A. So the team members, like I said, I'm Perry, president of Rubix, and then we have Mehmet, CTO at PromoLink, and Andy, a Rockstar developer, is a common SKU out of Canada. So I had quite a good experience. It was awesome to work with these diverse, distributed, truly sort of team members. And my first hackathon, so it was awesome. So the topic for this hackathon is in the whole spirit of AI. I always think about more of conversational than being stuck at a computer or searching using chatbots. So how about using Alexa for real-time order information, again, powered through Promo APIs to enable distributors and end users with actionable insights. So that's our topic. So we want to keep it simple. And just to elaborate a little bit more on the problem, as we all know in the promo industry, we have orders day in, day out, whether it's one-piece apparel or it's bulk orders, or even for large events. Often times, more often than not, even though things are getting stabilized, there's always sort of the fulfillment times are, they are kind of unpredictable because there's a range and there could be anything that could happen. So what that leads to is, in general, the users having to follow up, whether by logging into the ordering portal or calling the supplier or emailing them, and that ultimately actually leads to sort of maybe returns, refunds, a little, sour experience. And on the flip side, if had the person known about the status or the order information upfront, the outcomes could have been different, maybe a better experience overall. So that's the sort of a problem we picked on, and the solution we figured, and again with the keeping true to the topic of AI and promo standards, We see a lot of these virtual assistant chat flavors of AI, whether it's chatbots or voice activated devices. How can we use this to access information readily, right? That's the whole key. I'm a big believer in automation. I don't like touching, logging the computer if, smart devices next to me. So we took that conversational AI approach using Amazon Alexa to build a small scale, a simple scale to find out, let's say, the status of an order using Promo API. That sounds simple, right? I mean, but of course, as you're running your imagination, the use cases are endless, right? So a quick overview of the flow, and then I can do a small demo. So either you can use your Alexa device or an app if you're not home. It could be anywhere, so you can have your app on the phone. Prompt or launch the intent or ask Alexa your status or the order information. It actually makes a call out to a code that's deployed as a Lambda, which internally is calling PromoStandards API. And in this case, it's alpha, and we have a SandMar jet. So of course, we could do with any other supplier that we're connected with. And then, of course, the response comes back. So that's in a nutshell the flow of how things are wired. So let's, well, we have an Alexa device next to me. I don't know if you can, I don't think I have to show you, but people who haven't seen it, it's an Echo device. So I'm going to launch the prompt, and we'll see how this goes. Alexa, are you there?
I'm here. I listen once I hear the wake word.
Alexa, launch promo order status.
Welcome to Promo Order Status Tracker. You can ask me about your order status.
What's my promo order status?
No open orders found.
What's my promo order status for reference number RBK005?
The status of order RBK005 is complete and is expected to ship on Saturday, September 23, 2023, and is expected to deliver on Saturday, September 23, 2023.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Sorry, I don't understand your command.
So,
Please say again.
so now what I wanted to do was, let's say I send an order in real time just to illustrate, a little bit more liveliness or more of the real time demos. If I send this right now, it's a PromoStandards API for alpha. We have a bunch of, it's a blank order. I send it. Hopefully this order goes through. It may take about 10 seconds and so on. So then I'll switch back to, once this comes back, we'll switch back to see if I do have any open orders, and then that'll be a good test. So that went through. So I'm going to launch. Alexa, launch promo order status.
Welcome to Promo Order Status Tracker. You can ask me about your order status.
What's my promo order status?
You have 1 open orders. Their reference numbers are RBK0011.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So there you have it. Essentially, again, kept it simple, real-time orders using Promo APIs. And now what's possible, right? Now what's possible is, of course, you can use any APIs for that matter, pivot it to your use case and the needs, whether it's inventory querying or even notifications of invoices, etc., shipment notifications. And then, of course, you can sort of build an SDK for Promo. So in all of this, the idea really then is to build a holistic conversational hands-free experience in this busy day and age, known as, time to, for me, at least I feel that way, is we want to be able to reduce that dependency of the location, being at a computer or looking at your iPad, whatever have you. Well, thank you. That was it. And the final message, even though the creativity part, we didn't have too much shiny videos or, animations, but at least the slide will make you chuckle. We made it very easy. You get the idea. So for anyone to be using this, so I think thank you. That's pretty much it for me for the presentation. I hope I was doing good on time.
Yeah,
So we
you're doing
can,
great on time. So
okay.
Perry, we're gonna keep you here because we're gonna put you on the spot here with some Q&A.
Sure.
First, I'll open it up to the judges, and I know there's one from the community as well. So, judges, anything that you want to chime in? Questions? Teresa, looks like you're ready to come out swinging.
Yeah, I just had a quick question about like privacy issues. I'm curious because I know a lot of people are anti-Alexa because they're worried about privacy. I mean, obviously I'm not like the most technical person here, but I'm just
Right.
curious about like you have like these status and order information. How do you ensure that you're keeping it kind of the data safe?
So this all ties back to the, let's say, the platform that you're using. For example, if I'm on the Common SKU or Bright Stores or whatever the other e-commerce platform is. So on the Alexa app or the account, it's tied to my account with the platform that I'm using. It's not a direct integration with the actual Alpha or the supplier. It can be. So from that perspective, you already have an account on an e-commerce platform. So the data is whatever they have. And so when you are tied and you're asking for the order status, it knows exactly what to query because you are. So if you think about, let's say you have let's say Alexa from Bright Store, Alexa from Magento or Common SKU or whatever the examples may be. So it's no different than you giving that information today on your e-commerce registrations, if you will. I hope that helped a little bit.
Help me. Erwin, you seem to be ready for a question here.
So, not knowing a heck of a lot about Alexa, apps, how would one go about, with the Alexa app, setting up with your different suppliers, right? I mean, yeah, obviously you don't want just one app that will query things for any distributor's orders with a supplier, right? You have to get credentials and all that. So have you thought about how you would address that?
Yeah, great question. So the way my time is over. The way this was working is, if you think about the personas, were let's say the distributor or the employees, if you will, of an e-commerce platform, which in turn is connected to a lot of suppliers in the backend, right? So let's say I could go and order a Sanmar item or an Alpha item, an SNS item on an e-commerce platform. So my account, so I'm logging. So that is the flow of how the information is queried. Now, if you talk about a person of a distributor who may be wanting to be directly connected to a supplier, so then that's a different kind of use case. But my thinking of the way this could work is all these different sort of e-com providers can, make it as a service, added service on top of, like today, if I were to go check my order, I log into the portal and check it out, right? So as opposed to that, I'll just connect to Alexa, which is actually given to me by my e-com provider. So that's how you shield all the credentials part. No one has to know anything about, where it's coming from. It's just more about, hey, is this order on time? It's been shipped. So that's the value that we see.
Thank you.
Teresa's question was pretty much identical as the Q&A question. So hopefully we answered that one live.
Okay.
Any other judge? I mean, if not, we'll roll forward here on time. All right. Great job bringing the heat early, Perry. Raj, you're going to have some interesting follow-up to do here. So
yeah, thank you.
Good job, Perry. All right, looks like we have our next team teed up here. Raj, I'm assuming you're going to be the pitch person here for your team.
Yeah, I'm going to be the pitch person, but I also Steve and John, who's also part of the team, will talk a little bit about their part of the presentations as well.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to shut up now. Raj is representing Team Cora here, back for round 2, second year, trying to win this thing. So get after it, Raj.
All right, yes, we need the money. All right. Slide home. All right. Okay, so second year, and we try to come up with something new, something unique. and we knew AI was a theme. And remember last year, Quora was the one with the AI theme. And yes, John, you did botch our logo. It looks like that. All right. So anyway, in the team. It was me, Steve, Louis, sir, and John Van Helmen, all part of the hit team. And thank you, whoever chose the entire hit team. So it definitely feels like we are hit against the wall. No. All right. The business case that we're trying to solve is we know it takes countless time to build a marketing material, product, images, etc., to build a product page. Once you have the product that you want to launch, there's so much back and forth, email back and forth. Hey, what are the bullet points? What are the images we're going to load on the website, etc. And what we try to solve is use PromoStandards as a backend engine, use AI to generate some of the content, and then obviously a slick UI front end to wrap it all together. Okay. And the journey has, like, the team core did exactly that. The journey has been pretty amazing, like countless long hours after work. Coding this in the last 7 days has been insane on top of our work schedule. So, and we will see that as part of our code check-in that you guys can all check out later. All right. The way we solved it, talking about once we talked about the business problem that we're trying to solve, right? We used, like I said, AI backend engine. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. From PromoStandards, we use product data and media content. We took the data as XML, we convert that as a JSON endpoint. So kind of touched upon some of the themes of last year. Again, trying to win that money. And then the final part of that is wrap the PromoStandards JSON data into a nice looking AI engine. So there's REST services at play, SOAP services at play, AI integrations at play. So kind of dive deeper into that. So on the AI engine, we went with the hype cycle. We use ChatGPT. We use DALL-E for image generation, ChatGPT for content generation. And from an AI standpoint, like wrapping it all together, we use Flask, which is a Python-based low code MVC module to wrap the AI engine, so you can build APIs on top of these, right? You can wrap your business case around these AI engines and build that. Okay, and the AI part is essentially checked in here. Here I'm kind of going to go over the code because I know this is a technical thing. So essentially had 4 methods that we built. Well, one was a image prompt where you can type in text and it's going to generate images. Image variation is where you would be able to provide an image and get a different version of an image. A prompt, open-ended prompt, where you can function like the ChatGPT chat engine that you've been using, and a marketing prompt, where it has some business tools tied to your ChatGPT prompt. And this is me that AI generated. As you can see, if you ever see this person run away, this is absolutely not me, but AI is getting better, but this is a variation of me. Saying that, I'm going to hand it over to Steve to talk about how he used the PromoStandards engine and built the REST endpoints. Over to you, Steve.
Yes, hello. Steve Lewis, sir, Senior Software Architect at Hit Promotional Products. The portion that I created for this project, we call the Quora PromoStandards REST service. Improving over other solutions from the previous hackathon, this actually exposes a complete REST service that takes XML completely out of the picture. The developers work with JSON, no XML needed. It is compatible with all of the currently published PromoStandards SOAP services. It'll work with any of the suppliers' published PromoStandards endpoints. We created an easy-to-use API. You just do a GET request and then process the JSON responses. Is very flexible with a few tweaks. Suppliers and service providers, they can use that to provide REST-based PromoStandards services without really doing too much. And it was built on top of a Java application utilizing the Spring framework. And there is the link to where it is in the PromoStandards Bitbucket. This is a screenshot of the source code. If you download the project, you'll be able to see it used IntelliJ. This is actually the controller that I have up. Pretty straightforward source code there. And I will hand it over to John, who's going to go over the Cora front-end application piece of the puzzle.
Thanks, Steve. So I was tasked with building a user interface to interact with the AI and the PromoStandards APIs that both Raj and Steve built. The app can take a user-supplied product ID and build out a product page using some AI-generated product images and some marketing style text. So a potential use case for this might be to deploy the app on your internal network and give access to your marketing department to aid that team in building out a product catalog. So a couple quick technical details here. It was built with Next.js and using Bootstrap for the CSS styling. The app utilizes some environment variables to easily connect to PromoStandards and OpenAI APIs. And we can use that fetched product data to call the Flask API endpoints, which interact with OpenAI and generate the requested images and text to render a product page. So let's go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so here's the app up and running. As it was mentioned earlier, OpenAI kind of uses some AI prompts, and here are a couple examples of what we have being generated kind of on the fly that we're calling. So we describe what we're looking for an image, and it will build that out for us. And we also take some of the PromoStandards product data to plug in to give us a summary of it. And we take each of the marketing points to also kind of elaborate on what was already there. So let's go ahead and enter product here. So now it's reaching out, getting PromoStandards data, and then generating the overview, features, and the image. Takes a while.
Because you're using hit services.
Oh, it looked like it might have worked. Let's try it again. All right, there we go. So we got the PromoStandards data coming in for the title and the description of the product. It's also pulling in each of the colors that we have available for that. And we see here it actually did generate an overview. So it basically took this block of text and the product ID and built out this overview, which not too bad actually. Surprising that machine actually wrote that. And now for each of the product marketing points that we have, it elaborated on each of those and kind of came up with its own take on those. Now for the most interesting part, we have the images that were generated. So this one just kind of gave a basic image back, but I also built in an interesting little theme selector here. So maybe you have a product catalog that maybe it's summertime, maybe you got a beach day coming up and you want to show that. So let's see what that comes back with. All right, not too bad. Maybe a little dark, but pretty cool. Let's try a camping trip. Maybe it's still summertime. A little wonky, but you know, I can see where it was going with that. This one actually gave me some pretty good results consistently. So let's see what this one comes back with. All right, not too bad. Maybe we want a different color. Right. I mean, that's a pretty good image just by describing what we were looking for. But on a more topical note, let's try one more. Just to see what that comes back with. Now that we're in spooky season here. Not bad. Let's change it to orange just to see what it does. And there we go. Let's say we like this image, we like all this data that it came back with, and we want to save it for future use. We can go ahead and export that. And there we have it. Exported in JSON using a little bit of PromoStandards data here. It provided that image URI that was provided and the overview and features that it generated. So all in all, it's an interesting proof of concept. Absolutely could be extended to provide some more useful functionality. Maybe DALL-E 3 that just came out might provide some better imagery. Maybe you want to fetch some pre-built image theme templates from a database. Or you could also provide a UI where users could build their own dynamic prompts. So the possibilities are as limitless as your imagination. I'm sorry, what was that?
I think that was Raj. So it's
Yeah, I was trying to like go to the presentation. Sorry, John.
Okay, yeah, let me stop share and hand it back to you.
all right. You got like 1 minute here.
1 minute here. Okay, so one last thing. We had a special guest. Let's do this again. That was last minute addition to our team. I just wanted to play that. All right.
Hey everybody, Rick Harrison from Pawn Stars, and I am giving a big shout out to Team Cara for the 2023 virtual hackathon. Your ideas of using AI to create marketing data and images is absolutely amazing. It's fantastic. You guys are absolutely amazing. I mean, if I was to praise you, it'd probably be kind of priceless. You guys are doing a great job. Keep on doing what you're doing.
So priceless presentation. That's what we wanted to achieve, and hopefully we have some ROI from our product. I think we do.
All right, I'm going to ask an impractical question before we open up to the judges. Did you pay Rick, or did you generate that with AI?
No, we paid.
That's funny. All right, judges, I'll open this up to you first. Let's get 2 quick questions while we got the team here, put them on the spot. From a technical or usability standpoint, fire away. Somebody.
I'll ask. So when you did the export, what exactly gets exported there? Is it like a bunch of HTML? Is it just something that you could just take and drop onto a site somewhere?
It's a JSON. It's a JSON. You can take that and import in the system. So all the marketing text, all the product data and imagery that we build is a JSON file, so you can put it back in your system. I think John was trying to share that, and maybe it was on a different screen.
Oh, sorry, it was in a different application.
But again, it's all checked in, so you can play with it in your environment and see it.
Bill, I see you've unmuted yourself, and this tackles a lot of your challenges data, or bumps up against your challenges day to day on the marketing side.
Yeah.
Fire away.
Yeah, so it looks like those images are generated in real time, right? It's not a library you've downloaded. It's generated by just clicking on what is preloaded in terms of scenes. Is that correct?
Yes.
One of the challenges I see with it is the Tumblr look different in every setting. The setting look different, but so did the Tumblr. How close are we to getting to a point where that's not an issue? Because I mean, it was radically different in several of them. I know it's out of your control. I use Midjourney a lot, and I can use the same prompt 5 times in a row, and I'll get 5 very different returns.
I don't think we are there yet. Like these technologies are evolving, and what OpenAI did in like beginning of this year is a very radical approach to data science using the approaches they took, like one-shot, zero-shot learning, essentially. And that technology and that math is very new, and it's going to evolve over time. And I think in a couple of years, you're going to get better and better. What we just showed is probably like the tip of the iceberg, but in a couple of years, I think the math and
So you're showing potential more than anything else. Okay, just making sure.
And also what we showed is like there's a hype about AI and it can solve all these problems and go to all these events, and they will have all these articles and speeches. But this is what AI is at this moment. And you cannot, even if you use OpenAI, you're not going to get better than what we just showed.
No. All right, thank you. No, I just wanted to show everybody I was paying attention. Thank you.
That's important, Bill. Thank you. All right. Any last questions for Raj and team before we move on to the Swagify AI team? All right. Thank you, Raj, Steve, John. All right. Swagify is up next. It looks like Joseph is going to be the one pitching this one. So, Joseph, 10 minutes. You're on the spot. Let's go.
All right. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone at PromoStandards for putting this together, Becky, Jessica, and everyone on the team. Also, from our team, we have from the Safsira team, we have Alessandro, Armando, and Ariel, who put together an incredible work here. Probably haven't slept in a couple of days. So kudos to the whole team. I cannot see the rest of you guys, but I guess we'll just keep going. All right. Here is our logo is not AI generated, but this is us, Swagify AI. So the problem in the industry is lots of products and lots of suppliers, lots of options, and it's a little overwhelming. So we put together a solution for that problem, and that is by utilizing AI. And I'm going to go a little quicker here. So again, the problem statement: wide variety of budgets, hundreds of suppliers, different products, and the different use cases. And putting those two things together could be a challenge. Enter Swagify AI, curated swag by AI. So how Swagify AI works is you define your audience, choose your category, and AI-powered solution. But not only that, there's one thing at the end as well. And we'll just put a little bit of a kind of a nice little thing going here, and you'll see this live in a couple of minutes. But you kind of able to put together, say what your event is, and we'll see this live in just a second. You're able to categorize and choose what audience and budget you have as well, and go and look through different options, which I'll present to you in a second. So we got this. We put together some mock-ups. The team kind of had some fun with it. Kind of like this hoodie, this thing here. Hopefully we will be able to make some swag. So this is a live site, and Swagify AI site. And as you can see, the ultimate swag assistant. And let's get started. Who's ready? All right. So I'm looking to buy swag for, let's just say, a tech summit, the match budget of X. Let's just say I don't have a budget. You click Swagify Me, and voila. These are items that the AI has chosen why this item is a great fit for a tech summit and so on. But you've got this description. We've got 5 items here. You could always go down and get some more items, which is awesome. Just kind of looking through different items that you're able to get for your tech summit. You could also put it as specific categories. You could actually say which suppliers you want to look from if you'd like. And this is where it gets really interesting and cool. If you go to let's go to here. We've got PCNA, we've got HIT. If you want to actually just see, you can click right here, it goes straight to the product as well. When it loads, there it is. There's the product. So if you like it. And the idea here is we built this in the concept of this is for a distributor to be able to present to someone else. So this is a generating tool. And if you actually want to go and you have this description here, but it's kind of not doing it, look at this. And let's see, it takes a little bit of time. And what happens is it will generate a beautiful description for the item. And if you don't like it, you could go back to the old one right here. And you see a new one, you can even go again and go give it another whirl. while you're at it. It looks great. It's easy to use, and you're able to keep going with all these different items for that category. We could try another category if you get it as well. Let's do a hackathon. What kind of swag do you need for a hackathon? Here you go from Starline. We can enhance the description as well. And it says why this is a great event. This design positive, friendly atmosphere, and it's team spirit during a hackathon event.
I don't want to interrupt, but that's the product we used last year for the hackathon. So
magic.
That's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. So I cannot say that was planned because it was not at last year's hackathon. But this is incredible and so useful on every single day as a distributor and a service provider here at the Sapphira team. I think this is super useful. Plan is in the future to actually be able to put this in as a ChatGPT plugin. And we've also built out, here's the documentation to be able to actually put this into any kind of platform. This is built in a way we're going to be able to put this into any kind of solution platform that someone could use this to power inside of their platform as a plugin. So we've got Swagify AI and all different kinds of use cases. And this is made by the Sapphira team. So I'll stop sharing.
is that live? That site's publicly
It is
accessible?
live. It is live.
If somebody on that team could throw it in the general channel, just maybe so people can poke around, that'd be great too.
Yeah, I could.
But no.
I don't know where I'm pasting here, but I just pasted the app. Super awesome and practical, and can't wait to continue to use it. So, I mean, this is just the tip of the iceberg of what applications you could do with this to enhance, to put marketing, kind of creation, product creation, and I love the enhancer as well. Any questions?
Erwin.
Yeah, sure. So when you chose that event category up front from a dropdown, you have a limited set there. But are you just literally feeding that to the AI, saying, recommend? I'm trying to figure out the interaction between the AI and PromoStandards in this case.
Yeah, the items are being pulled from PromoStandards, and we put a limited text right now for the hackathon. But the goal is to make this more freeform. You can actually put in any kind of thing. We just wanted to make sure that it kind of limits the AI questioning right now. But the goal is to make it more freeform, and you can put anything you want. And it's pulling from a subset. We've started with 500 items from PromoStandards, but it could go to as we inject more data into the AI.
Okay, so the PromoStandards data isn't being pulled real time. It's being used to populate a universe of products for the AI to choose from.
Right. It's cached right now, and we could promote Armando from the team who's amazing and built the whole back end through PromoStandards. And if you have any other more technical questions, there's Armando. Armando, do you want to go ahead and speak to that?
Yeah. How are you? How's everyone? Thank you. Yeah, like Joseph was saying, we pretty much created like a caching layer where we, in this case, just pull some products from different suppliers in order to the process of generating the selection to be a little faster, right? If we want to go to PromoStandard in real time using SOAP and such, it will take more time, and we kind of wanted the results quickly for this solution to be feasible. Talking about PromoStandards, we used the product data endpoint and the media content endpoint to get the information and the images. And also the backend was created using Django and Django REST framework. We have a UI using React, frameworks called Beat, styling using Tailwind CSS. I don't know if this is relevant, just everyone mentioned it, so kind of wanted to mention. But this is great. I mean, the potential for this API could be embedded in any distributor or any other site you want. Just follow the documentation, and use it, and you'll get the results. Of course, there's things to be considered as authentication and such on the API. Right now, there's no authentication, so for the hackathons and for the purpose, but again, could be really game changer for the industry.
Thanks, Armando.
Reese, I know you had
thank you.
unmuted yourself. And looks like you're gonna fire one away here.
Yeah, I just to understand, this solution is for a distributor to have like on their site, so like their end user can be like looking for ideas, or for the distributor to come up for ideas for their customers like on their own.
Great
Or
question, Teresa. Either one. We built this in a way that it could become an abstract layer. The plan to build it is as an abstract layer as well. So you could go to the site, use it, and then paste it into your email, presentation, whatever you're doing. But the goal, making it more powerful, is this becomes an abstract layer that actually, with the documentation, put it into your homepage or whatever site, and your end user could also play around with it. So super powerful.
Is there concern about like the solutions that it's giving? Some of the reasoning is looked a little generic, like, oh, this is breathable, so this would be good for this event. Like some of the selections didn't seem totally targeted to the event that it was promoting. Like, I guess I'm just curious about like the reasoning.
Sorry. So yeah, as we fine tune the questioning and the query construct, the AI will get better to answer those questions, and then as the AI gets more intuitive, those suggestions and descriptions are going to get even more powerful and relevant. It's just kind of work in progress.
It's a lot. It's a big lift for 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm incredible what the team has done over the past week, making this go live, and with the UI and everything that they've done. So amazing work. All
right, Swagify, that was great. If you have any last questions, you can throw them in the chat, throw them in the Q&A, or you can obviously hit this crew up in Slack as well. So great job, Joseph.
Thank you.
A lot of work done in 7 days. So good job.
Thank you.
All right, the next pitch person. Who is it going to be? Kristen, are you going to be doing the pitch here?
Yes, that would be me. All right.
Tristan, you need to solve the ultimate pronunciation of your name. Thank you.
I think I'll solve it the slow way while kind of telling the story about kind of our project, how it came together. I think that'll kind of weave nicely in, so I'll leave everybody in suspense for a couple slides here. But the idea was at the beginning of this project, we kind of got together on Friday, didn't really have a formal idea of what we wanted to do, coming from different backgrounds, from ERP side of the fence, from building more of a individual connectors to building shipping software. We kind of came from different backgrounds and struggled to necessarily find a particular problem that we were confident AI could solve. So we started with kind of just the basic premise that we wanted to do something that involved promo standards and AI. And I think, like many other teams here today, OpenAI was an obvious, easy choice to kind of rely on some of their tooling and software and APIs to kind of flesh out a tool that can be really useful within just the time span of a single week. So we started with the simplest of things. Let's start with the problems that the PromoStandards HackAthon team presented us to begin with. A team name, probably like many others today. We just went ahead to ChatGPT and asked them that question. They gave us a list of names and we said, hey, okay, it seems pretty good at generating text, giving us reasonable responses, and we'll take Promo Paladins as our name for our team. Then we moved on to the next problem we were tasked with. Our team logo, same idea, into DALL-E as the generator, and we got some pretty wild, colorful logos. Not exactly what we were expecting or hoping for, but this kind of leads us into kind of what we've hinged on heavily and realized is really the power of a lot of these AI generated chat or image models, which is this idea of a iterative looping process. The idea here is we can just clarify our prompt or add a description, in this case, in a minimalist black and white style. And what we get is we start kind of catering our generation through the AI to give it a result set that we are actually looking for. Again, in this case, we'll grab one of these, clean it up a little bit because those don't exactly look like the letters of our name, and we'll call it good and kind of move to our next step. So after this process, we kind of iterated on this for a couple of days, playing around with using these different AI tools and models, and we tried to kind of come up with a list of our weaknesses. The first is with image generation, there's a lot of problems today. There are some tools out there that do a very good job of doing it, but in the short period of time of what we were trying to accomplish, we kind of steered clear of images generation just because we didn't want that to hinder what we could accomplish within the course of a week. It was a little bit slower than we would have wanted to, a problem that in the future will easily be solved, or if we had used maybe some faster models, but with maybe less good results. But then we kind of talked internally about the strengths. Its text-based generation is very quick. It's very readable. It's not something that has to be really, processed heavily in any particular way, and it provides great output. And then lastly was kind of that important piece of that feedback loop, that idea that I can continue to keep a conversation going with an AI, and it will slowly get a better understanding of what I'm asking for and get me closer to the results that I'm looking into. So I think similar to some others today, we kind of use AI as our problem statement to say, can we source and select products based on a problem? A very simple problem statement, and we wanted to try to kind of expand upon that. So just like we did with the others, we tried a very simple situation. What promotional products would be good for a sales summit? And we gave it an example set of products to sift through. And not only did it do a good job of selecting products, but it also gave us a little bit of extra information we weren't asking it for, that we decided to use as an additional buffer to help a user that is trying to understand why is an AI recommending something, figure out why did the AI pick this particular product. And so what we realized is that we could just create a simple React UI with a simple chat, product gallery, a .NET API where we'll feed in prompt, PromoStandards product data, and really product data that we can pull from anywhere. Throw that into a ChatGPT language-based model. We're using the 3.5, but ideally, if we had a lot more time, we'd either use 4.0 or we'd build our own generative model. And then just give us a list of products, pricing, images, and explanations, and then we keep that feedback loop going. So we'll jump over to a demo here just to kind of walk through what this process looks like. The idea here is really simple. We can start with as simple as a prompt as we want to get some products generated for a golf outing. What we're doing now is we're feeding ChatGPT the simple prompt of golf outing, plus some additional information on the head and tail of our prompt that we've worked over the course of the week to help kind of narrow down and get the result set that we're actually looking for. While it's generating and looking through all those products, we're kind of pushing back in additional products so that we can get a generative list of product results that match what we were looking for. Takes a little bit longer than we would have wanted to, but eventually once it kind of wraps around its head all the various products that we've fed into it, it'll give us a list of those products on the right-hand side and allow us to sift through them and start to make some assumptions and decisions about them. Of course, it's being nice and slow, extra slow right now, so hopefully we'll get it to load. I'll grab another one in here. We'll throw in a sales summit as well, just so we have a couple going. I jump back to my golf outing here and it finds a couple different products for me to look at. Some of them may or may not be particularly relevant to what I'm looking for. But if I click on any of them, I'll get a description that ChatGPT generates as to why it believes that product is a good fit. It provides sun protection. It can be customized with an event logo. It's stylish for the participants to wear during the event and take home as a keepsake. It's also served as a walking advertisement for the golf outing. But let's say we didn't like this list of products, and so we wanted to say, hey, I'd really like it if there were more shirts in here. We can give it additional prompts and kind of push it past what it was originally providing and ask it to start essentially thinking. And we can have this conversation back and forth with it to be able to get to a place where we can have a list of results that we're happy with. And then we could do whatever we wanted with that list of results. We could even go as far as having ChatGPT generate an entire web page for us. We played around a little bit with that. Or simply we can just get a list of products, go out to those suppliers, start working to get those products. But again, it also kind of gives us that example and implicit marketing material as well while sifting through those product data. Jumping back over to the PowerPoint here, just to kind of talk about some of the takeaways that we had while we were working through this project. Some of the biggest advantages that we found with this model is really workshopping and working through that feedback loop. As you continue to give it additional prompts, provide clarification for your event information or the products that you're looking for, it's not something that the user has to think about. It's like talking to your CSR and asking for additional products that they might want, working with a sales rep to figure out exactly what products might work for an event. It really just kind of makes a conversation very easy to do And it's something that could be taken out from a web browser to, just a text message conversation, to adding something into a Slack, like a Slack bot. It really makes it a very easy and portable kind of tool that can be used. And it's something that anybody could use and develop and put into any situation, whether it's a supplier that wants to provide almost a little bit more than a Google-like search on their platform, to a distributor who has multiple suppliers, data feeding into it, to a general supplier data feed that wants to help make those products a little bit easier and more accessible and be able to promote them to more places. The data can also be poured in from PromoStandards, or then once the user selects a product and they want more details, you can pull more data from PromoStandards. The sky's the limit once you start to figure out how to pull that data from the ChatGPT response. The biggest problems that we saw with how this works today are things that will be solved implicitly in the future, like the speed problem. That's obviously something that all these companies that generate these generative language models work heavily on improving. We worked heavily on fine-tuning our prompt, figuring out exactly how to phrase questions to ChatGPT to get the results that we would want. Feeding data is also a lot of an issue. A lot of these AI-based online toolings only allow you to generate certain prompts and certain amount of detail, as well as pushing in a certain amount of detail. So we had to workshop and work through different ways of pushing in product data so that we could get out what we wanted. And then lastly, what we really wish we could do if we had a little bit more time would be to train our own model. We think it's very possible, based on kind of just this week's experiment, to be able to work with a model, generate it, teach it the promotional products industry, teach it a bunch of products, and then be able to quickly and intuitively ask it for a bunch of data and information related to really anything you might want to get, because it's so conversational in how it reads the data and how it understands what it's expecting and what you're expecting. And the more you have that conversation, the better it gets to know you. It's a little creepy, but it can get really good results just by user interaction on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, other than that, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, Tris, I'll start with a non-relevant question. What is your day job? What do you do?
I work as the project manager and product manager for Aturian.
Okay, makes sense. Nice presentation, good job. Judges, open it up to questions for you. He was so thorough, there was no questions. Come on, I'm gonna start calling on you. I mean, I guess what's the PromoStandards piece? Like, where is your project bumping up and implementing and using PromoStandards?
Yeah, so initially, what we were able to do for this week was just pulling product data. So we just kind of fed our product data so that we could just get something that we could feed to ChatGPT to get a response from. That's really all we were able to accomplish this week. The goal theoretically would be, being able to, instead of just clicking on a product and seeing why ChatGPT recommends it, seeing things like inventory or product data, whatever you might want to see, would be easy to implement from there.
Do you see this being a replacement for product search in the industry, or an addition, or where do you see this fitting into mainstream industry use?
I think the way I think of it is it kind of opens up, and I'll say it more broadly, I think it opens up this new way of searching for and interacting with any type of search across the internet. I think we're so used to this Google-like search that we get on Google, but not really anywhere else, whether it's in a promotional products website or other types of websites where you're searching for a piece of clothing and you have to be very particular about whether it's a shirt or a polo you're looking for. And I think what AI really provides ability to do here is take a bunch of data that would probably take users a long time to create the right categories for, to turn that data into something that a system could programmatically read what it needs to be able to do, and give you a set of results just based off of a very colloquial prompt of, give me more shirts, give me some tumblers, I have an event that I want mugs and coasters for, where it can learn how people speak, what those words mean, what things are adjacent, and it can really figure that out. So short answer to your question is probably a replacement for a lot of search, or just a new way to create more strong search engines that are more fault tolerant, not just because you forgot the I when you were typing shirt, but understanding that a shirt is also a polo, is also a long sleeve, is also a tee, and really kind of going from there.
Quick question. How is
Yeah.
like we're looking at the screen right now and it says why this product? How is that text generated? Is that just like kind of like another question to the AI? Why did you choose this?
It's all together. So we do this all in a single prompt. So when
Okay.
we ask it, so in this case, I asked it for a sales summit.
Huh.
It's going through, and as it's selecting every product, it's also generating why it believes that product is useful, or why that product is a good selection. I think my favorite example is that it occasionally keeps recommending a pencil that's in the shape of an umbrella to cover yourself from the shade of an outdoor event. So
Yeah.
it needs a little bit of fine tuning and helping out understand things a little bit better there. But yeah, it's kind of just creates that as a conversation. We noticed a lot while we were playing with ChatGPT that it's very interested in that conversation of, you know, just like when you're talking to someone and you say, hey, why did you pick this polo off the shirt that we should have for this product? Oh, well, because it's moisture wicking for your golf outing, so it's going to be a better for an outdoor event than, you know, a full cotton blend or something like that.
Perfect. I like it. All right, Tristan, thank you very much to the Swagify team. Or no, you're sorry. I did not mean to botch that up. You are not the Swagify team. To the Promopaladins, as I would like to refer to you as. Great job. All right, let's change gears here to the last presentation of the day, Team PromoBot. I'm assuming Mr. Alfano from Team Vantage is going to be
Yes,
the
sir.
person here.
Indeed, I am. Well,
All right.
like keeping with the trend that everyone else was on today, we also developed something based on AI. Our team is Team PromoBot, which is an AI-based product search. Team includes myself from Vantage Apparel, Kevin Chambers from Thumbprint, Jason Ortega from Charles River, and Yufang from Starline. So all the development work, very big on Yufang and Kevin. So, you know, great work, guys. As we're getting into our project here, we wanted to ask the question, why in this industry does finding products have to be so hard? And in answering that question, we know that, yeah, there's plenty of product search providers in the industry. There's plenty of places where industry data is aggregated and given back, but yet there still needs to be this back and forth between suppliers and distributors about product data, inventory, quantities, where it comes from, what it looks like, and most recently during all the COVID times, what's in stock, who has it, where can we get it from, where it comes from. So on the supplier side of the industry, our reps are constantly fielding these questions. On the distributor side of the industry, the distributors are constantly hunting for products. So what our team did was we built an AI-powered chatbot that actually goes out and does all the hard work of the searching, finding, and processing without having to call the distributor, without having to deal with 4 and 5 different people, and it's available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So we asked ourselves, what if there's a bot that could answer every one of these promo questions? Well, you know, back in mid-2020, OpenAI released ChatGPT 3. And I would have to say that anybody who has been in the promo industry for anything more than a few months could realize that historically, 10 years being anything with technology. So when ChatGPT just blew up across every promo blog, every promo podcast, and everyone was talking about it, it was probably the first time that that layer of technology sprung into mainstream promo products so quickly. So we thought, you know, people are now starting to move away from Googling. Yeah, we're using Googling as a verb here, but now they're starting to build prompts. And when they're going through the prompt conversation, they're realizing they're just having a conversation with the chatbot and they want results to come back. So as we were going through this, we said, all right, well, how do we bring this promo bot to life? How does an actual AI bot learn? First and foremost would be data collection. So where do we get all this data from? Well, I mean, this is a PromoStandards HackAthon, so, well, no other place than PromoStandards. How do we train it? Well, we train it on input from our distributors, what they like, what they don't like, the volume of search, what kind of stuff do they have in stock? And all of this we can find through our PromoStandards feeds. And then we want to evaluate those results and really fine tune them from this distributor feedback and the data intelligence that we're collecting from PromoStandards. So I'm going to turn it over to Jason. He's going to talk a bit now about the data flow and how we pull and what we pull from PromoStandards into the project. And you're muted.
I am. Hi, everyone. Jason Ortega, CTO for Charles River Apparel. Thank you for the intro. So real quick, I'll cover over how the solution was built on the back end, give you some insights into the interaction between various systems and the technology stack that was used to get us to this point. And then hopefully shortly after, we'll have Chris do a demo of the actual product. I can't see the presentation, but I'm assuming you're displaying it, Chris?
I'm with you.
Good. Thank you. So yeah,
Chris,
we're not seeing it.
Yeah, Chris.
You are. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can reshare.
That's better.
Got it back again? All right.
Got it.
Awesome. Yeah, so this solution basically brings in product data, media content, product pricing and configuration, as well as the inventory API. We basically gather the data via a custom-made data collector. Basically, we're caching all that information in there and leveraging that with a Mongo database. Then using Python, we went in and built vector indexes for all the products available in there. So now we have this massive localized data set that can be leveraged to facilitate the prompts with the user. Once we get the prompt, we package it up again using Llama Index. So Llama Index serves three main jobs. It's how we build the vector indexes, then is what is the intermediary with the OpenAI API. And lastly, it receives the information back from OpenAI and presents those return the solution back to the user via the PromoBot interface. The entire solution was hosted using Azure Web Service, the data collector API, as well as the Docker container that runs the solution itself. And then again, as mentioned before, for the user interface, JavaScript basically connects with the results from this Llama library and present it to the user itself. As we get prompts and we interact with users, basically the system is going to be learning and developing new models to then make more accurate responses back to the user. I hope that kind of coverage, it touches on everything, but overall, if you have to simplify it, this solution was built on an Azure and Docker, backed by a Mongo database, data collector that was written in .NET. It heavily leverages the OpenAI ChatGPT API with the Llama library. And then on the front end, we're basically using JavaScript, a little bit of jQuery and HTML to make sure that it looks nice and is easy to use. So with that being said, Chris, I'll pass it back to you so that we can jump into the product itself.
Yeah, definitely. So, first and foremost, we go to, promobot.app and we arrive at the screen. It's basically, bot asking us to, what they're looking for. So, I'm going to use a joke that I stole from somewhere else. I always like to be polite to the chatbot because if the robots take over, we want to know that I have been nice to the chatbot. So first, we're going to say hello to the PromoBot. It's asking how it can help us today. And, I'm going to play the role now of a distributor and I'm searching for products for, maybe a fall event coming up and we're looking for some beanies. So I'm going to send this request to the chatbot and say, hey, you know what? We're looking for some beanies for this event. It's now connected to our database and done a search through PromoStandards and it returned that, hey, you know what? We do have some beanies and conveniently, look at that. They're being offered by Vantage. So when we're looking at the products now, this is being returned to us from the product and media content service to the screen. We see some options that are in stock and, maybe I like the striped version. Not so crazy about this one, but, maybe I like the pom-pom version. So cool. As I was doing that, though, I'm now training the chatbot. And this goes to the piece that we were talking about with the likes, dislikes, and how that gets weighted. So all of those, positive thumbs up clicks or negative thumbs down clicks are all getting stored in the database to, train our AI. So, my next question is, all right, great. Vantage has these products. But you know what? Before I move on, I'm like, I really want to know what the quantity is. So I have a project coming up. I need maybe 250 beanies. So I'm just going to ask the chatbot, how many of these pom-pom beanie ones are in stock here? So it did a quick search for us, went out there, hit our inventory API, and said, you know what, according to that, we have 29 available in black, and there's 954 navy. So we're going to take those navy ones. Those are now going to get added in, and it's showing me this again. Perfect. Yep. We're going to take the navy pom-pom. So, as I continue to build this program out, and this is for one of our customers, based out of Chicago, which I guess by now it's probably winter there. So we're going to say, hey, you know what, PromoBot, are there any blankets too? Because, we could really add some blankets. And, as I go into this, it's all right, cool, great. Vantage has a whole bunch of blankets for us to choose from. And, I'm going to want to see them. So let me say, hey, PromoBot, what are the product IDs for those blankets? It's going to give me a whole bunch of selections of products available from Vantage with these blankets. And as I scroll down here, since it's an outdoor event, this one might be great on my couch, but it's not great for the event that I have. I want something packable. So, I'm going to go with this. We got our Vantech fleece packable blanket, and I'm going to like that. So now the chatbot's continuing to learn our preferences. And I think the last piece of any outdoor program we're putting together is, maybe we want a little bit of outerwear to go in here. So we're going to ask PromoBot, hey, do you have any outerwear available? And it's going to do a quick search, and, look at that. We have a quilted jacket available. And as I'm going through, I'm like, okay, I want to see that. So you know what? What are my product IDs for that as well? Because I think I want to add that to my assortment for this program. So we're going out, reaching our database, and there's a whole bunch of products available to choose from, but it's going to pick a featured product for us to choose from here. And you know what? This is perfect because it's not freezing yet. So we're going to go with this jacket. So now, I finished my session with PromoBot. I liked a bunch of stuff, and I had this great conversation, but, where are my products? Well, we go to our promo matches, go to our products that we love, and through our session of interacting with the PromoBot, we've now built an entire catalog of products that we love that we're going to try to include in our program here. So all this is being generated through the PromoStandards endpoints. All the results that come back, all the interactions are getting captured to kind of train our chatbot for future results. You'll notice as I'm entering some of these queries, I'm very specific about how and what I'm asking because it's been 7 days. The chatbot needs to know we're specifically looking for a product ID. It needs to be very directed towards what we're trying to retrieve back to the screen. So that's the functionality. The next piece that's in process to be developed out is we want the chatbot to have a little bit more of an idea too of who's our preferred suppliers. So as we start to build out this preferred supplier screen, we'll be able to give our suppliers different ratings within here. And these ratings will also weight the results that come back through the chatbot onto the screen. So that's the functionality. This is up for everyone to play with. It's available at promobot.app. That's our demo. So, the one thing we want to point out is PromoBot's always learning. And we figured that the Swagify module would be great to build in there. So as we were on the call, PromoBot took that, added it all into the system. And the next version, 2.0, will be featuring Swagify. So that's in there now as well. So that's what we got.
So I've before we open up to questions, I find it humorous that you're actually using true ratings to determine your search ranking instead of trying to monetize it and come up with a more pay-friendly schema. So I applaud you for that.
I do have to say there was some glitch in the PromoBot matrix for the first few days. It kept trying to push us the BBQ5 SKU from Starline. And every time we asked it anything, it was constantly trying to give us barbecue kits. But Yufang was able to smooth that out.
All right. Questions from the judges, real questions that are not my banter.
So earlier in the presentation, you mentioned things like about inventory levels and so on. So, but I didn't see anything really in the demo that addressed that. How does it, is it deciding? It didn't even ask like how many of these things do you want or anything like that. So how will it be taking into account, inventory, and then also other variables like product lead times, for example, are typically pretty important.
Sure. So the first piece of the prompt that was in there, when we requested the beanies and it came back and gave us a variety, We
Yeah.
asked for a specific, how many are in stock. And at this point in the
Oh,
prompt, it
got
does
it.
go back and it hits the inventory API to return.
Okay.
So that's pulling
Okay.
from the inventory API.
Okay, I
Lead
didn't
times-
notice that. There.
Yeah, so lead time's not built in there yet, but generally anything that's fed or available through a supplier's promo standard data can be pulled into the database to train the model.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Mike,
Can we,
Teresa,
throw,
Bill?
can we throw the link for this one into the chat too?
Sure.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have just one quick question. Was it just was it deliberate that it was just stuff from Vantage, or was that a coincidence?
We trained it on Vantage, Starline, and Charles River. But for me, it's just easier to call a Vantage product during a demo. I know the SKUs and the styles. The problem that we had, or one of the hurdles in developing this, is the AI's ability to translate product IDs to part names and descriptions and be able to kind of cross search through all of that. So that's why I was kind of deliberate in, some of the first responses, it was giving me information based on a product ID lookup, keyed off the word beanie. And then for the specific beanie, at the next point in the prompt, it needed me to reference a palm beanie to get those results to pull up. So there's definitely some behind the scenes linkages that still need to be done in training the data.
Perfect. All right. Any last questions for Chris before we kind of start wrapping this thing up here? Chris, good job. Promobot team. It was a great presentation. All right, real quick. I just want to give the judges 30 seconds to, provide any just overall comments, feedback about the experience, and then Amy and I will wrap this up. I know we've heard from Erwin and Bill and Teresa here, but Bill, you want to kick this off and kind of, give your thoughts on the experience and the overall projects and kind of how's it going?
Yeah, nothing would give me more pleasure, John. So thank you. No, this is really interesting. As someone who obviously lives much more on the marketing side, I know enough about programming to make me dangerous because I know BASIC and COBOL. Thank you. But from using, leveraging technology is something I've always embraced. And so even though I'm sitting here as a 53-year-old man, I throw myself into ChatGPT, I throw myself into Midjourney and things like that to really understand it. And so I really found all of them super interesting as to what's possible. I think there are a couple that really showed me what can be done right now. And that's what really got my attention. Like, okay, as I was looking through each presentation, there was several that, okay, I could apply that now, or someone can apply that now to really remove some friction in the process while bringing PromoStandards in on the process. So I thought it was great. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, Bill. Mike, you turned your camera on here. We'll give you an opportunity to chime in and go from there.
Yeah, I enjoyed the presentations. I thought it was interesting how, and I think, I don't think we have time today, but it would be interesting to see that 3 teams kind of did the modified search, right? Like enhanced search capabilities. How do I find product? And to understand how they approached it differently. It'll be tough for the judges to distinguish between them at attacking that same problem.
That was great. Yeah, that's a great point. Thanks, Mike. Erwin, how about yourself?
So just initial reaction is, wow. There's every single one of these projects was, I thought, just terrific. And at the end we are going to have to come down and rank order them, somehow select a winner. We have our score sheets to fill out and everything, but I just want to say to every team on the call here, everybody did an amazing job. And I'm that's so trite, I think, to say that, but it's heartfelt for me because I'm just blown away by the creativity here. And in my head, I've always had this. Lately, everybody's been thinking about AI, and I've had these theoretical ideas about how it might be applied in our industry, and to see some real practical uses of it demonstrated here is great. So that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, Erwin. All right, Teresa, you live you live the industry daily from like media content, and you've also dabbled quite a bit in the tech world. Initial thoughts and kind of of being involved here today.
Yeah, no, I thought this was all very, very interesting. Of course, like you said, I write about AI. I'm not a tech person though. I just, take what you guys say and try to make it sound good. But I thought it was interesting that a lot of the presentations, it was very similar, solutions to do these like product searches, but each of them had a very different looking interface and had like kind of like unique aspects. But I was interested in all of them, and I think that they are all could have a good applicable use in the industry for sure. And yeah, I mean, like for personally, like I've messed around with ChatGPT a little bit, but it's interesting. I find it kind of like I don't pay for the better version, but some of it, like to me, it's like it's kind of limited use, just back and forth typing. But it's like having these kinds of adding the promo standards like data and adding like this proprietary stuff to it makes it a lot more powerful, and it's nice to see how could work in promo.
Awesome, thank you for that. All right, real quick, I'm gonna hop over, just wrap this thing up along with Amy and Becky. 2 seconds while I screen share. All right, come on. All right. Next. All right, so what's next? So the judges are going to diligently go through, and I agree with Erwin. This was amazing. I really like, and we're probably going to steal Mike's idea there and recruit those 3 to the Tech Summit to add that as a session on how the 3 similar outcome solutions were approached different from a technology standpoint. So that's a great. This has all been recorded. We're gonna obviously dissect all these and get them out there. So if you missed anything, if you have those live links, definitely throw those in the chat, throw them into the general channel of Slack as well. I know a lot of that, there's been some banter back and forth there already, so that's great. That's what we love. We will announce the winners and the 3rd Tuesday of the month. Every month we do education, 3rd Tuesday of the month. We will also take the links and presentations and put them into Slack for PromoStandards members. So make sure if you're a presenter today, you get that to Jessica. She's going to make sure that we round all that up from you. And Raj bumped up against this. We very much, PromoStandards is a community effort. It's a collaboration across the industry, and we have a code repository where the standards committee uses to do all of its project developing standards and all of the work that they do there. Raj and his team have already committed that. We will provide in Slack the code commit instructions there. We want the community to be able to pick at these and keep developing this content and these projects. And we really want to play with them between now and Tech Summit and really highlight these exact projects where you only had 10 minutes today. Well, maybe we look at it from a more technical standpoint at the Tech Summit, and then we save the back half of the presentation for what else, and we figure out what's the next piece there. So I do want to give a special shout out. Amy and I get all the thunder here a lot just to run through these things. This wouldn't happen without Becky. Becky Ellis, she worked at Sanmar. She's been a member and a longtime volunteer on our membership marketing committee. Did all the behind the scenes wrangling, putting together things. So thank you, Becky. Really a big one for this one. Byroni at Zoom, she was an integral part of how we were going to pull this off in terms of platform. And then Amy, myself, and Jessica. Jessica is the one who sent you 1,000 emails because that's pretty much what it takes to get people to show up to these things, is constant daily reminders. So Jessica knocked it out of the park here too. So Amy, anything else before we do the next slide?
Go to the next slide. This is what I want to talk
All right.
about.
All right.
So Tech Summit registration is open. We're going to go wide to the industry next week with marketing campaigns. So if you want to make sure as members and attendees of our hackathon this week that you make sure you go in there and register, especially for the hotel. before we open it up to everyone else. But this has been great. And as John said, we have a couple opportunities to fit in some deeper dives into these presentations, whether through the roundtables or breakout sessions. So I'm really excited about that and looking forward to seeing how the judges rate everyone, because it's going to be tough.
All right. Well, having said that, we're gonna finish final time here. Thank you, everybody, to the teams. Awesome. Hopefully, you can get some sleep now, because I know some of you have probably had some sleepless nights. Those, you know, we really appreciate what goes into this. Obviously, what the pretty pictures at the end of a demo have many hours and long nights ahead of them. You know, making all those components and pieces work together. You know, as this is the second year we've done this, super impressed. I've had people text me and message me throughout this, being like, wow, that was awesome. So you've impressed a lot of people. Now the hard part, that's what we have for astute judges to do that. So everybody stay tuned. We'll be on edge, and we'll make a big splash when we release the winners next month at our education session. So thank you, everybody. You did it. Great job. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
weekend, everybody.
You too.